It took 6 months of intensive work for a Senate committee to finalize its damaging report on Jair Bolsonaro's handling of the pandemic. It called for the Brazilian president to be indicted for 9 crimes, including charlatanism, forgery, and crimes against humanity.
Our role was to open up the eyes of the Brazilian population. There were things that the media and the people did not know and learned about through the probe. And the Senate probe was right in its view that the vaccine is what would save us. We see that with vaccination, the number of deaths has been greatly reduced.
Among the shocking incidents alleged in the probe was a scheme by hospital chain Prevent Senior, accused of using patients as guinea pigs for COVID-19 treatment with unproven drugs touted by Bolsonaro, and even neglecting care to free up ICU beds. Tadeu Andrade was a Prevent Senior patient who was invited to speak to senators.
Que consistia no quê? Me tirar da UTI.
They wanted to remove me from the ICU, turn off the equipment and just give me morphine because they said I would die in just a few days. But my family didn't accept it. It was worth it to testify at the probe because this encouraged other Prevent Senior patients to come forward.
The report highlighted the government's particular disregard for the indigenous people, accusing the Bolsonaro administration of deliberate neglect resulting in widespread death. One draft version of the report went as far as to accuse Bolsonaro of murder and genocide, but those charges did not make into the final text, replaced by the more general accusation of crimes against humanity.
This young leader from the Guarani Mbiá people in São Paulo says that Bolsonaro's attitude shocked but did not surprise his community, given the president's track record.
E a gente perdeu muito dos nossos parentes por conta da falta de
We lost many
atenção
people
mesmo.
because of the lack of
Era
attention to
possível
indigenous
que a nossa
communities.
comunidade,
It was
que nossas
possible to give
comunidades
better care to our
fossem melhor
communities
atendidas, que
so
a gente
we
não
would
perdesse
not have
tantas
had
vidas
so
como
many
perdemos
deaths.
durante a pandemia.
This politics professor believes it's unlikely Bolsonaro's hand-picked Prosecutor General Augusto Aras will follow the Senate committee's recommendation to file formal charges against the president, but says criminal consequences could come later.
After his term, it's very likely that something happens. But before the end of his term, I don't think so. And why that? Because Bolsonaro has an ally at the General Prosecutor's Office. And this is why his re-election is so important for them. Not only because re-election is always something that politicians want, but also in this case because they can have real serious legal problems after the end of his term.
COVID-19 has taken a heavy toll on Brazil, with over 600,000 people killed by the disease. The Senate probe suggests many of those lives could have been saved if the government had a swifter and more efficient response to the health emergency. Paulo Cabral, CGTN, São Paulo.